Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our mono green +1/+1 counters deck. So, since the last episode, I have made a few changes to the deck, because the first one was a little bit rushed, because I needed to get a video out. So, what I've essentially done is I have cut out our good friend, the Long Tusk Cub. I felt it was really difficult to get any kind of counters on him without using things like our Retreat to Kazandu, but he couldn't put counters on himself, which made it quite difficult in the early game. You may have noticed a few times I couldn't attack through with the Long Tusk Cub, so he has to come down like turn 1 to be useful to gain the energy. So that's why I cut him out, and we've replaced him with stuff like, well, I'll show you what I've replaced him with shortly. I'll get to the cuts first. I then cut out our Bristling Hydra as well. Is Bristling Hydra going to make an appearance? No, because you're in red. Bristling Hydra, we cut him out because essentially we could only get 1/1/1 counter on the Hydra without the Long Tusk Cub. The Cubs were kind of in there to make the Bristling Hydra really good, and since it wasn't, we ended up cutting it for better things, technically. So what we've added is the Battlefront Krushok. I'm not sure why I cut him in the first place, but he's back. So we've got 2 copies of him for 4 and a green. Battlefront Krushok cannot be blocked by more than 1 creature. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it cannot be blocked by more than 1 creature. I actually, in playtesting, felt really bad because my opponent could not figure out why he couldn't multiple block one of my creatures. And he went on so long that he ran out of time and the game auto unblocked for him and I won because of it. And he had lethal on board for me. So I felt kind of bad about that. Went down a single Cultivator Blades, just because he doesn't really get in that often, so we don't really want to work our way around him. We mostly want the Battlefield Krushok more than anything, and we want to keep our curve relatively low. So we can also, we have Fairgrounds Trumpeteers as well. Some of you guys mentioned it, and I thought it was a little slow, and it is to an extent. If you can't protect it, it's bad. But we have added ways in to protect it. So for 2 and a green, we have an Elephant 2/2. At the beginning of each end step, if a 1/1 counter was placed on a permanent under your control this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Fairgrounds Trumpeter. So we can, in theory, and in practice in some occasions, get 2 counters per turn cycle on this. So Fairgrounds Trumpeter comes down and we put a counter on one of our creatures, maybe a Seed Sculptor for example. And at the end step we'll gain a counter and it'll become a 3/3. So how do we do that on our opponent's turn? Well, we do have Tireless Tracker, and if Tireless Tracker sacrifices a clue, you get to put a 1/1 counter on it. So if we sacrifice a clue on our opponent's turn, it triggers again, so it could be up to a 4/4 by the time it comes back to us. So it's not too bad, but we do need to keep it safe, which is why I've also added in some Blossoming Defenses. So we want to put a lot of effort into keeping our creatures nice and big, but that also means that they're pretty vulnerable to hardcaster removal. So we've added 2 copies of Blossoming Defense in just to make sure that that doesn't happen so much, and we get to keep up the 1 mana that we might be keeping up for a Primal Bellow as well, so we get to trick our opponent that way. But it gives a creature +2/+2 and hexproof, so it's really good. If we, for example, have a Cultivator of Blades on and we've just fabricated, we might have a Primal Bellow in hand. We go in. If they try to remove it, then we just Blossoming Defense, and it gets far worse for them. So yeah, those are essentially the changes. If I've missed anything, then be sure to check out the description, because I'll have a link to the deck list that I will have updated. And as always, this video is sponsored by 5 Color Combo, so if you check the description as well, you'll find a link to their website, and it's got a load of really cool Magic the Gathering tokens made by real Magic Gathering artists. So if that's something that interests you, then be sure to check it out. Alright guys, I will see you in the games. Okay, we're in. Wow, that's a flood of a hand. Throw it back. No lands. 2 lands, that'll do. Okay, so we've got 2 lands. We've got our Seed Sculptor on turn 2, into Retreat to Kazandu on turn 3. We have Artifact Removal, and we have Ramp. Our opponent is on green-white. Okay, we're just going to play a Forest and pass the turn over. See what he's up to. So this could be humans, perhaps. see them a fair bit, actually. Still green-white. Okay. Could be Renown. Don't know if our opponent's gotten all the... yeah, these are Duels ones. Don't know if our opponent's got all the cards. So if you have all Origins, Renown's a good deck to have. Or at least it was. Okay, so we've got ourselves a 2-3. See if our opponent's got any answers for it, or a decent blocker. Doubtful of both. Nissa Vastwood Seer. Okay, we can remove that. This won't be Abzan Elves then, will it? He's missing black. Who knows? You'd be more skewed into green-black if it was, though, I would imagine. Okay, so we can try to get him to trade with his Nissa. He's not gonna. I think we'll save the Nature's Way for later. He's not going to be flipping his Nissa anytime soon, so I'd rather get a retreat down and make a bigger creature. And maybe something better to fight will come up. But we can remove Nissa whenever we want, so we just got to make sure that he doesn't get anywhere near 7 lands. Jeez, just under halfway there. Okay. So next turn, we can make a really big Seed Sculptor. Don't know if we want to do that. He's in white, so he does have removal. Fragmentize. Oh, never mind. Okay. So he gets to destroy an enchantment with mana cost 4 or less. Architect of the Untamed. Okay. Fair enough. I'm going to get in with your 2-2. You are. Good. It is advised. It's actually a decent blocker for our Seed Sculptor as well. 2-3 versus a 2-3. Don't get you nowhere. We do get another Seed Sculptor though, which does get us somewhere. So we could ramp, but we have nothing to ramp into right now. So I'm going to Seed Sculptor and put the counter on this Seed Sculptor. It's going to create a 3-4, so he can't block it. And then we're going to get in and probably Nature's Way the Nissa, because if he has an explosive vegetation, it takes him up to 6 lands, and then just a land drop is 7, and it flips his Nissa. So it's time that we got rid of it. I could have Nature's Way pre-combat, but I was kind of hoping that he might just block anyway. Okay, he gets an energy. This guy gives you energy when you play a land. A Verdurous Gear Hulk. Alright, we have an appetite for the unnatural, so we'll be able to get rid of that. Oh, is he putting all the counters on that? Are you spreading them over? Okay, that's smart. He's going to be able to get in for 4 here. We should have gone all in on his Gear Hulk, because then we could have really punished him with our appetite for the unnatural. This is in fact an artifact creature. High Spire Artisan. So that can be a 1-4. It's not really what I hoped it'd be, but if we appetite now, we can get in for 4. We gain 2 life, so we'll get ahead in this little race. So let's do it now so that we can attack. And swing on through. 4 damage to you. Okay. So we're kind of level pegging here, but we are running out of cards quite fast. He does have the advantage over us in that respect. Nature's Way is going to fight my token creature. Okay. Now we've got problems. So you can get in for 4 here. It's got Vigilance, so I won't be able to swing back for 1. Nissa's Pilgrimage gets him. He's got Spell Mastery, I believe, so yeah. Gets him 3 lands, 1 onto the battlefield, 2 into his hand. Plays 2 of them, so he's got 3 energy now. Needs 8, I believe. Yeah, I wish there was a bracket symbol with how many mana symbols are there, because it's really annoying to have to count them. Quite difficult as well. They're not easy to count. Okay, what do we get? A land. No. Alright, we're going to make sure that never happens again. Explosive vegetation. Go grab 2 forests and play our other forest. So we've got the mana for absolutely anything in our deck, but we don't exactly have the board state right now. If we got an Armorcraft Judge, we could High Spire, get a counter, play the Judge, and we draw a card from it, but it's not great value. Nissa, Vital Force. Yeah, this is over. So you can plus Nissa, and one of his lands becomes a 5/5. Yup. He's got us. No blocks. If you've got pump, you got pump. You don't. Okay. We do have to block from this point forward, though. And a Reclamation Sage. Okay. A Seed Sculptor. Interesting. So, High Spire Artisan. I think we will fabricate here. Well, we will fabricate. I think we'll put a counter on it. Because what I can do is Seed Sculptor and put a counter on that Artisan. Which means it can block this guy and stay alive. These two can chump. I'll just pass the turn. But we're pretty dead here. The moment that Planeswalker came down, we were definitely dead, so... Huh. Ether Storm Rock. Is that the one that taps creatures? Yeah, tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls when it attacks. So we're dead next turn. Absolutely well and truly. No doubt about it. Can Nissa minus and get something horrible? Yes, definitely. But you're just going to plus and turn one of your lands into a 5/5. Understandably so. Probably just gets in with the land, yeah, and the Architect. If he gets in with the Reclamation Sage, he loses it for no value, so... We're going to block there. Block there. We're dead next turn. Come on, wonder card that I don't know about. Primal Bellow. Alright, let's see if he blocks. I don't think we'll win anyway, but if we see no blocks, it'd be interesting. Damn. What a shame. Okay, we'll make sure that he doesn't want to play around any cards in our hand. Just gets the game over quicker. And we get to keep our Artisan. Yeah, that would have been 10 damage, I think, unblocked. So we were a land short of it being lethal if he didn't bother blocking. So what can you do? We're dead. And plus his Nissa. And he's going to minus his Nissa for a Gear Hulk. Gear Hulk puts counters on the Architect. Yep, okay. And swings in for 8. We are dead. Come at me, bro. Well, GG. That Nissa really screwed us up. We might have been able to slowly pull it back without the Nissa, but I think, well, the moment it came down, we were just done. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on to the next game. Okay, we're in. We're on the play. We have a very expensive hand, so we're going to throw it back. Oh, God, this one's bad, but I don't want to go down to 6. We can go turn 3 retreat, and the life gain will keep us safe, and then anything we draw into from there will be alright. It's a bad hand, but I fear I might get a worse one, so we're just going to go with it. Our opponent is rank 21, called Le Baron. On white. White weenie, perhaps. If it is, we're in trouble. Nissa's good, though. Nissa is good. She's going to get some plant tokens to block those white creatures. If it is white weenie. This is the avatar I use for my white weenie, actually. And pretty much the same background. Yep, looks like it. Okay. So he's got himself a 1/1 life-linking first striker, and if he gains 3 or more life, it transforms into a horrible beast. It rides as 1. Okay. With that in mind, I think we want to Nissa plus and get a plant token. He might just end up flipping this guy with a pump spell, perhaps. We'll see. But next turn we can Tireless Tracker and Forest and get some clue tokens, or even retreat and put a counter on a plant token, perhaps. We have options. If we Tireless Tracker and Forest, we can hold up Blossoming Defense as well, though. Okay, he's going to tap down our plant token. That's fair enough. He does have Topplegeist now, which will, if he gets Delirium, it'll tap down a creature every combat. Should be really annoying. So he's going for our Nissa. It's good, as long as he's not coming for us. This might not be white weenie then. It's a very odd white weenie, at least. You're actually quite good. You block everything. Interesting. I'm going to make another plant token. And I think we want a Tireless Tracker into Forest, holding up Blossoming Defense to keep our Tireless Tracker safe. And we get a clue. Next turn, either High Spire Artisan to stop this Topplegeist from getting in at our Nissa, or Retreat to pump up some of our creatures. And I don't think, as threatening as it is, I don't think we want to get in with our 0/1 plant token. I'd rather have a fair game, so I mean, you know, this stands for infinite, just so you know. Okay, 1 damage coming at Nissa. Taking her down again. Our opponent seems to be stuck on 2 lands, which is good for us. Yeah, I'm still pretty certain he's white weenie. He's just a really strange version of it that I've not seen these cards in the same combination before. If he does get another creature down, Hanway Militia Captain's going to get out of hand. So, that in mind, I'm going to get in with some creatures, I think. Or at least just the Tireless Tracker. And then probably High Spire Artisan, so we can block the Topplegeist. And then plus Nissa for a plant token seems about right. So we're going to get in. Hopefully he double blocks here. Thinking, no, he's trying to get his Militia Captain online. Rightly so. Okay, well, we still have another turn. He has to play another creature before that happens. So we're alright in that fashion. I'm just going to make another plant token. Let's go really wide here. High Spire Artisan. We're going to stick a counter on the Artisan so it can block the Topplegeist and keep our Nissa safe. And then we have a Blossoming Defense for any creature he wants to remove if we want to keep it safe. Another Topplegeist. Okay, he gets to tap down a creature. Probably our Artisan. Yes. We could Blossoming Defense there, but all we're doing is saving 1 damage off Nissa, and it's not even close to killing us, so... Ooh. Oh, alright. That's a thing. Sure. That I will spend a blossoming defense on. Take out the militia captain. Nissa takes 2 this turn. But we get rid of the only thing that I'm really afraid of on the board. Oh, Armorcraft Judge. If I minus Nissa and Armorcraft Judge, we draw 5 cards, sorry. I really want to. But we can take the greedier play and plus for another plant token to try keep her alive. And I'm wondering from that point on, do we retreat for no value or do we clue and hope to get a land so that we can retreat? That's the riskier play because it potentially means we do nothing on the turn. But it pays off a lot better than just being conservative and just playing a retreat. So I'm going to take the greedy play. I'm going to plus Nissa. I'm going to sack the clue. Try look for that land. We do not find it. Okay. Worst fears realised. We'll get in with the tireless tracker. No reason not to. Got plenty of plants to block and a high spire artisan to kill any of his Toppelgeists. Even through a small pump spell, it still survives. Once this guy gains 3 life though, then we're in a bit of a problem. Reprisal for our tireless tracker. Okay. Fair play. He's not getting in. Okay, we can really punish that. So, if we minus Nissa, play Armorcraft Judge, we draw 5 cards. And Nissa's gonna die through that though, that's the only thing. Perhaps though, if I minus Nissa and attacked, he might block with a Toppelgeist, but that's just assuming our opponent makes the wrong move, and that's not a good thing to do. So I think we just continue to take a turn here and just make our board a little bit bigger. So an extra plant token. Thank you. And Fairgrounds Trumpeter or Retreat. We haven't put a counter on any creatures yet, and this kind of gives away the plan that we were actually going to minus Nissa next turn. So I think we'll just retreat here, because this gives away the entire theme of the deck if we play it. Whereas retreat just kind of looks like a green life gain opportunity. So we'll do it that way. And we'll pass the turn. So if he doesn't attack, we minus Nissa. We draw 6 cards. And we get to keep the greatest hand of all time. Okay, he's got another Toppelgeist, which taps down our Artisan. So Nissa's going to take 2 here. I might still throw away Nissa. She'll have done essentially her ultimate, is what I'm thinking. We do need to block one of these. Because she needs to be able to -2 here, so... she needs a 2 loyalty. Okay. Let's do this. Minus Nissa. It's becoming hard to keep her alive anyway, so... Armorcraft Judge, draw 5 cards. Probably draw into another Armorcraft Judge along the way. Ooh, all lands and a Primal Bellow. Put a 1/1 counter on... oh, it chose for me. Okay, sure. I was going to put it on the Judge, but I suppose spreading it out's a lot better. And I guess we'll just get in here. We've got nothing to protect anymore, so... everything but the Artisan, which essentially keeps him back. I'm going to hold on to this Primal Bellow until it's lethal. So we've got plenty of attackers that he won't be able to block them all. So the Primal Bellow will just sit on the one that we want to finish off with. Get rid of a forest. How many have we got? 5 forests at the moment. I guess just a Seed Sculptor, or maybe just another forest. Yeah. We're going to have him in about 2 turns. Come on, dude. Draw a land. Want a fair fight. Say he's on 2 lands, and I suppose White Weenie, if this is White Weenie anyway, he's kind of curved out anyway. You only really need 2 to 3 lands to do most of the stuff that you want to do. He's just going to gain some life here. 4 life. Yeah. Okay. Does he have to tap creatures for the Escalate? No, he has to pay 2. And he gets his 4/4 It Rides as 1. So that's a thing. Okay. Play Forest. Put a counter on... It just keeps choosing for me. Okay. Sure. The Trumpeter will gain a counter because our plant just gained a counter. And we can play another Artisan as well, which will gain another counter. Or we could just Cultivator of Blades and go absolutely batshit crazy here. And I think that's what we want to do. Cultivator of Blades. Let's go wider. Let's make some servos. Because I've got Primal Bellow here so that all of our creatures will get +7/+7 next turn on the attack. Just have to be able to swing in. Okay. Coastal Lieutenant. 2/1 first strike. Alright. I believe he's dead. So. We can Verdurous Gearhulk here. He's tapped out. All the counters on Cultivator of Blades. Primal Bellow on Cultivator of Blades. Cultivator of Blades is an 11/11. We attack in. We trigger Cultivator of Blades ability. Do we want all of our attacking creatures to get +11/11? Absolutely bloody not. No, we do. And we win. If he doesn't block a single creature, he dies. We're gonna... Yep. So from 15 up to 19, down to -28, I believe that is. Sweet. Alright, we'll go for another game because he was a bit mana screwed. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're in. We have plenty of turn 2 plays actually. So we have turn 2 into Durable Handicraft, turn 3 into Seed Sculptor, hopefully put a counter on it. And then we have Nature's Way as removal, High Spire Artisan for flyers. Yep, this looks good enough to me. Let's do this. Just noticed we've got a lot of elves in this deck. Could maybe put Dwynen in here, perhaps. I don't know. We'll go Forest into Durable Handicraft. Skadoosh. Our opponent is on blue-red. So this might be Prowess, Tutelage, Burn. Could be a lot of things. We're gonna go Forest into Seed Sculptor. Put a counter on the Seed Sculptor. He's gonna burn it away by the looks of it. Yep. Okay. Sure. Do not pay. Next turn we can do the same thing but with the Artisan instead. This one will be harder to get rid of unless he puts an instant in his graveyard now. And then holds up his Fiery Impulse. This is blue-red Thopters by the looks of it. Sure. Which means this Artisan's really good actually. And he's tapped out, so it can get nice and big as well. Okay. Ooh. Kroshok. Forest into Artisan. Get a counter on Artisan through the Fabricate. And get a counter on it through the Handicraft. We have a 2-5 with Reach. Pretty ace against most Thopter-based strategies. And it's out of burn range as well. Thopter Spy Network. Okay. What we've got here is a bad case of him being able to make a lot of Thopters really quickly. We have a Tireless Tracker. Okay. Tireless Tracker gets rid of his Thopter Engineer later. And for now, we just get a 4-3. It's not bad. Sure. No point getting in, we can't get any damage through. So he's going to gain a Thopter off of the Spy Network. If he wants to throw one of his Thopters under the bus, he can draw a card by attacking in. I doubt he's got any 4 damage burn spells in there. He could have Chandra. Chandra's got a minus to do 4 damage, but he has to lose a Thopter and minus Chandra in order to get that kind of benefit. Welding Sparks. Oh. I haven't seen that card being played. 3 mana, Welding Sparks deals X damage to target creature where X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. He has just wiped our board completely clear. Wow. Okay, so we're taking 4 here and he gets to draw a card. We have absolutely nothing in our hand. Unless we get a forest. Okay, that's better. I guess we'll just Cultivator of Blades and plus get the counters. Ugh. I hate all of this, but we have nothing better to do. So we'll make a 3-3 for 5. Might just see it getting burnt away here. If he's got another Fiery Impulse, he can just spend 1 mana to get rid of it. Yep, don't like our odds. Officially. He's had answers for all of our answers. Which is where green falls, unfortunately. It ain't good against removal. If we have Blossoming Defenses, then it might be a bit different. Oh, God. Alright. All of his Thopters get +1/+1, and an Esperzoa, which means he can bounce creatures. Does he really want to do that? Sure. So we're taking... Oh, God. Yeah, we're taking a lot. Oh, yeah, I suppose it does get haste. So, yeah. It's the downside of this guy is he bounces artifacts back to your hand, but if he's getting 5 damage per turn hasty, yeah, we're dead next turn. Ugh. Tireless Tracker. That will not do it. We can go Tireless Tracker, Nature's Way, his Chief of the Foundry, bring these all back down to 1/1s. But he just keeps this guy around, and the hasty Thopter kills us. But I think that is literally our only play. It's the only one that helps. We can play the Battlefront Kroshok and then, what? Nothing. I suppose what we can do is we can attack first. See if he's silly enough to block us. Yes. Look at all those creatures that got +3/+3. He's not silly enough to block us. Didn't expect it. Okay, Tireless Tracker comes down. Do not put a counter on it. Nature's Way. Kill his Chief of the Foundry. But he's got lethal in the air, so we're dead anyway. That was just an answer-filled monstrosity of a game, that one. He bounces his Esperzoa. Okay, just so he can get 1 extra damage in. Yeah, welding sparks. Did not think that was as good as it actually ended up being. Especially with thopters, it's so easy to get around. That's a lot of damage. Love how he's holding back his engineer like he's not afraid to lose it. Oh dear. Well, what can you do? Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. So if you've enjoyed the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal, as well as subscribe if you haven't already for more magic content, as well as other content. And if you're not sure what that is, stay for the end card, see the rest of the content I got to offer, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.